Hello again, everyone. Ambassador Terry here, along with my co-host, Linda Vettrus-Nichols, my business partner and love of my life, and quite an expert on this episode, which is audience follow-up. Linda?
Yep, audience follow-up. We certainly learned our lesson on that one. That was an incredible thing that happened for us in our early days of coaching when we were at a conference. We had a booth and we were also breakout speakers. And we didn't sell anything there. We had somebody put down a deposit. She didn't even have the full amount initially. And we just said, don't worry about it. If it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. And the very next day, she comes running down the aisle, waving a check, saying, I have it. And so the exact amount that she needed, she found in a drawer, like I think it was probably more of a junk drawer. She found an old checking account, and it had the exact amount she needed to finish her deposit. It was incredible. And so, we weren't bummed out about not selling anything. We didn't have any expectations. We just let it all happen, see what happens. And so when we got back home, we got on the phones. We had had a where people just like a prize people could win, and they just filled out their name and their contact information, and then we did a drawing. And so we were calling people to let them know who had won the drawing, and we also just had a conversation. And in that follow-up, we just started selling. It was incredible. It was, we had so much follow-up that we got a concierge gal, originally even just to take us to the airport and stuff, that she did our grocery shopping, and we just kept on the phones and doing our follow-up. And all we were doing is really connecting with people that we had met, just make those friends and deepen those connections. And by the time, let's see, in 3 weeks, we had invested a lot of money in this event, like $17,000. What we were selling was 1,500, and in 3 weeks, we hit 48,000 in sales. And in 2 months' time, we hit $68,000 in sales. It was just like, whoa, yeah, follow up. It pays off for sure. It's not going to pay off if your attitude's going to be poor me and I wasted all this money, blah, 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 blah. So any money is an investment. Any money going out is an investment. Do you agree, Ambassador?
Absolutely. Everything, you can either spend money or invest money. I believe that spending money is something like you spend money buying an ice cream cone. It's an expenditure, it's done. That's it. Okay. But you invest in yourself, you invest in your company, you invest in other people. There's multiple ways of doing it. Follow-up is an amazing process because let's face it, the person that you're engaging with at a conference or a live event of some sort, they don't want to go into private business. They don't want to say what's personal to them because they don't know who's listening. And in our business, we need to know a lot of confidential information to help them, as well as company information for those that we've been business coaches and consultants for, right, Linda?
Yes, absolutely. The privacy thing is so important. And having those confidential conversations and just letting them know, that we'd like to talk more, and just being very inviting. You as a projector in human design, you number one need to be invited. As you know, if you start talking, no one's going to listen unless you've been invited into the conversation. And it was very inviting to us to realize that people really did want to come to our breakout, and that the doors had not only been closed 10 minutes early, they had been locked. And people met us in the hallway going, we got locked out of your presentation and we were 10 minutes early. And it was just like code, fire code, that only 60 people could be in the room. So it's like, well, that's okay. We have a booth. Do you have a card? And we've learned in follow-up is to ask for their card rather than handing people our card, because people don't get around to calling you. We're all humans, we're all busy. If you have their card, it's much easier for you to follow through on that connection that they've actually invited you to, asked you for. So that was really interesting as well.
Yeah, I got to reiterate on, I get to reiterate on, getting other people's cards, and not giving your card out unless they really want one, because they're probably not going to use it anyway. And most times, they don't even write a note on the back of it, what it was all about. Whereas Linda and I do. As soon as we get an opportunity, we'll look at a card, write a quick note on the back of it, and use that as our main thing for our follow-up. One of the coaches well, there was a couple of them at first. When we first went into business 12 years ago, how about that? We received a basic outline on how to do a follow-up call and turn it into a strategic opportunity for our prospective clients. And it turned out, with some modifications for us, we didn't keep that base outline very long, because we started finding our wording and the kinds of questions that both made sense to us and the people we were talking to, right, Linda?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And we still have that paper. Yeah. The people really appreciate when you follow up in anything that you do. And if you can hang on to a conversation that you had, with someone checking you out at the grocery store and recheck in with them the next time you see them, just, staying super authentic. It One of the ways that, even just to connect with people, is find something that is in alignment with you. And it might be even like your taste in clothes, and you really like, the sweater they have on or whatever. Let them know, right? It's just amazing. Sometimes we just put it on like this old thing, and have no idea that somebody would actually really like seeing it on us, that it really is us, or whatever it is. So as human beings, we really do appreciate hearing from others, getting feedback from others. It can be very damaging, and it can also be a way to really help us connect with ourselves. And so yeah, always constructive and positive feedback, please.
Yeah, it's very, uh, especially for me, remarking on a person's outfit, male or female. I used to sell custom clothes to men and women, senior executives. And so I have very good taste. And when I comment to someone, I say, you know what, I used to sell men's and women's custom clothes back in the day. And that outfit on you just looks really fantastic. As a matter of fact, those shoes are just killer. Are they comfortable? You know, you're completely genuine. You're asking a valid question. For me, it's very valid. That's not canned whatsoever. So I don't encourage you that are listening today, and those of you who are picking up the recording for that matter, don't just walk up to somebody, I like your suit, and they're not wearing a suit. Well, you just blew it. That's not relationship marketing. And we like to talk about relationship marketing in the follow-up process, right, Linda?
Absolutely. And when I'm with you, I can say he used to sell men's and women's custom clothing, if you hadn't said it already. And he's really picky as well. So that's quite a compliment. And they love that as well. Yeah, we were taught relationship marketing by our coaches, and then they went in with their coach, and it kind of died out. So it's almost like we got past this baton of relationship marketing, and continue to keep that going and getting that word out in the world. And we all know how icky it feels if somebody, just reaches out and immediately is pitching their business. It's like we're humans. None of us really deep down care about each other, at that ego to ego level. It's all about us. Just think about when you were born, it's like it's me and I'm busy surviving and making my needs known. So that's okay. That's us. That's our human side. And so when you even share your story, make sure you're sharing a part of your story that the other person would be interested in, could, actually care about. Because remember, nobody really cares, right? So stay interested, stay curious, be interested rather than interesting, which is what we were taught.
Yeah, spot on, spot on. If your business is selling services and goods by the volume, a lot of relationship marketing may not make sense until you think about it in a different way. Relationship marketing is making a relationship with the lead person of that company, so that that person becomes your friend. We have friends for life that many industries and businesses ago, and we're still friends. We still send each other people. As a matter of fact, Linda and I have a fabulous reputation out here, and that is, when people are talking, geez, I wish I could find somebody who blah blah blah. Hey, there's a couple business partners, Terry and Linda. Go see them, because if they don't know, they know who does. That's so powerful. You can't buy that kind of a recommendation, right, Linda?
Totally. Absolutely. I'm very careful when I reach out to any of our friends, right? Any contact, whether I even know them super well or not, is to share whatever I'm sharing, have a pretty good idea that that's something they'd really be interested in. And if I'm not sure, I can say, I don't know if you'd be interested in this. I thought of you. And then I can get that feedback. And then I don't send them that sort of thing again if it's really not their thing or their humor. I don't know how you feel, but if somebody sends me something that is so not my humor, it's almost a turn off. But I don't want to keep getting that. I might even, not might, I also let people know that that's not my humor and what is, and help them out as well. So how about you, Terry?
Yeah, I'm looking for golf partners whenever I can, but those days are pretty well gone on multiple levels, because we do business with people all over the world. People laugh here in America that don't work with people internationally when I tell them, well, the other day I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning talking to a client in Eastern Africa. And, we were talking about, wait, you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning talking to a client. Why you do that? I said, because it's their workday. Okay. I own my company. I own my time. I take naps. This is not important to me. I am available at the prime time that my clients are available. And they more than appreciate that. They idolize me for being so present about who they are and what they're struggling with, that I make time to do that. Now, there's another part of our company where we have done repetitive behavior cellular regression sessions with clients all hours of a clockable day, 24 hours. Because when somebody's suffering and they reach out to us, we're not going to set up an appointment for next week. We're going to talk to them, because that's what we do. That's that personal experience. And believe me, they'll send us a lot of people. And majority of our clients that start out as clients want to do it. after they've been through the process. We won't talk about that in too much detail today, uh, because they see the value of it personally on a very personal level. And Linda, what do you got to think about that?
Well, this being up at all hours, we're perfectly capable of getting a full good night's sleep, other than you with your restless leg sometimes. So it's just if it feels pleasurable and we want to do it, we will choose it. And we used to get up at midnight, and there was a particular humans first group we enjoyed very much, and we'd either go to bed and get a few hours sleep and then get up, or we'd just stay up and sleep in. Yeah, and people are just blown away with that. And it's like, if we're committed to something, we'll show up, right?
Showing up. Okay. It takes a lifetime to gain full trust, and it takes a split second to blow that trust forever. You may get it back at some level, but you can blow that trust forever. And be who you are, you know. Uh, what you see is what you get with Linda and I. And we have a lifetime of experiences and quips and quotes and all those kinds of things because we've been around for a while and we want to share them. And by sharing them, people talk about us and refer people to us because they know our authenticity. And when they refer somebody to us, they know that that person, even though we may not help that person, will have the absolute everything there. That is so massive in the follow-up, because when somebody refers ABC person to us and we work with them or we don't, or we move them on, we reach out to that person who referred us and try to have a conversation with them, not only to thank them, but to touch base with them. They put us at such a deep level of trust. We want to make sure that that stays there. And that's not being fake by any means. That's being genuine and bringing it from your soul, like Linda likes to say, right, Linda?
Right. When we did a lot of reach out calls, we have a 15-minute reach out call. You still do, especially Terry. And that in doing that, then you get to know somebody. It's been really important to just take notes, and before we get off that call, know when it is that we're going to touch base with that person again. I mean, if ever, you can make a decision that way too. But keeping conversations going is very difficult in this busy day and age, and very important, right? We're humans. We are herd animals, and it's important to us. So that's what I found. It was the biggest tip I got from our coaches was next steps. What is the next step? And maybe somebody, they're really busy and they can't just, hop on calls all the time, and that's fine. And so when is it that, the two of you really want to get back together, even if it's just a touch base in LinkedIn messaging, to share something or let each other know what you're doing. There are people that you send things to in LinkedIn messaging and they don't respond at all. Well, they probably don't really want people sending them things in LinkedIn messaging, and that's fine too. And if you're wondering, then just ask or don't send it, whatever. So communication is key, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Reach out to somebody that I meet at an event for three reasons. They themselves may be a prospect, or somebody that they know that we talked about a little bit, that I can keep front of mind for them to go and follow up with that person that I might be somebody they want to talk to. But it's also, when you send out a message of what do you do? So, Ambassador Terry, what do you do? I am sending a message to the person who is looking for me. That may not be the person in front of me. It could well be their boss. It could be the person that they play golf with on the weekends. We don't know who that person is that they're thinking about when they engage with you, in this case, me. And they very much, I don't care if they're a server in a restaurant, okay? They deserve the same response I would give to a chief executive of the 40th floor of an office building, the exact same response, okay? Because we don't know why or who they're searching for that we could help. And that's important. Linda?
Yes, I love your story, how you were at the Pillsbury building in Minneapolis, Minnesota back in the day. And you had an appointment with one of the CEOs, and if you take your car in there, they actually washed it. And so you connected with Petey, who would wash your car for you when you went into the building. And he asked you what it is that you do, and then you explained it to him as if he was the one that would be buying from you. And he actually took that card to his was it his uncle, I think, to his uncle, and he ended up being like one of your best customers.
Exactly correct. Perfect, perfect, perfect example. And Peter was a terrific fellow. And he's doing his job. I'm doing mine. My clients on the 40th floor are doing their job. They're just different jobs. That doesn't mean that I would demean him because he was washing my car or whatever. Um, Not in the least. He's a human being. I'm a human being, and I demand respect. I'm kind to people, but I don't take any grief off of anybody either. And from that, you give what you have. So if you have kindness and love in you and you give that to people, you'll get it back because they give it to people who give it to people who give it to people. And then all of a sudden, all these people are giving it back to you in a multitude. And so that type of stuff is very important. We're talking about follow-up. And follow-up can be a discussion at church on Sunday morning. It could be standing in line at a Starbucks or at a grocery store and bring up a conversation about whatever, something that a person's getting ready to buy, or like me, I'm a clothes nut. I'll remark on something that someone is wearing that I think is very, very beautiful on them, and those kinds of things. And we just start a conversation. It's just two people talking without any expectation of a result. Let me say that again, without any expectation of a result. Okay? You're just talking. And who knows where that conversation could be. The person checks out in front of you, they go walking off, and they get to thinking about how nice the conversation was. And all of a sudden they stop and they wait for you to finish checking out, and they want to continue that conversation for whatever the conversation is. Okay? And that presents a follow-up situation, and you just move forward with it. If you're always thinking about making a sale, you probably won't. But if you're always thinking about helping people and being of service to people, you probably make a whole lot of sales that you don't even know existed out there. Linda.
Yeah, absolutely. I so agree with even just meeting someone for the first time. That's, to me, follow up. Follow up starts there when two people are in the room together or on Zoom or whatever. when when you're in person, especially, like, the first thing, well, this is what we teach, is make eye contact. If you get eye contact back, smile. If you get a smile back, say something, give a compliment, or whatever feels really um, connecting for you, or you feel that person would probably enjoy coming from you in a way to connect. And then if when you say something to them, if they say something back to you, then respond and just see where it goes. It might just be a really quick back and forth, kind of like a lot of us are doing these days in text messages, because we're all busy and you get a text and you get a quick answer and you go back to what you're doing. So just remember, there's another person that has a life. They're actually doing something, so they might not be able to go back and forth, or they'll get to it. And don't be discouraged or upset because they didn't get back to you right away either. It's not all about you, right? At the end of the day, love and relationships are all that matter.
I'd agree. I'd agree. We've spoken a lot about follow-up from a in-person interaction, or possibly even over Zoom or Skype or whatever. Um, uh, but it's a communication. Okay. You can be talking to somebody in comments in a social media post or anywhere where you are communicating a thought to another person that could solicit a response where a dialogue will become the result. And who knows, a lifetime um, friendship, partnership could come out of it, or nothing at all. And it's not important when, if it is or it isn't. If you read something in a comment that you think is pretty sharp, respond. I often say, there's a lot of smart people on LinkedIn and other social media. I will often just comment, well said, well done, ABC person, you know, and I acknowledge that great piece of content and or a meme or whatever it is that I'm responding to. And more times than not, they'll respond back. Well, thank you. That was very nice, or blah, 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 you know, or they'll go to your profile and they'll check you out, and all of a sudden you got a connection request. I get a lot of connection requests, and I don't remember who they were till I go and look at them, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I commented on their post that one of my connections commented on, and started a relationship. Linda and I have some very dear friends and relationships that started on just responding to a comment. And they're very near and dear to us, even though we've never hugged. Okay. And who knows if we ever will, but it's not important. We are talking soul to soul here, as we have been here to do today, rather. Led to some final thoughts on following up.
Well, to follow up on what you just said, some we haven't hugged, some we have. They've literally come. We have this very spacious 1-bedroom apartment. It's not big. They've come, even with families with little kids. And yeah, it's just been so beautiful. And people here, people who don't do much online, like, what? Someone from online? You didn't even know him and you invited him to your house? It's like, you can get to know people pretty well online. It's not like we didn't know them. But those have been such precious visits. And I was just saying, like, why should somebody come and visit again? Because it's so much fun to take people around and show them all our favorite places if we think that they would enjoy them as well. So yeah, follow up starts the minute there's a spark of connection. And even follow up can start from you initiating that connection.
Absolutely. Yes, we live in a small place and we love it. We don't have lawns to mow. We don't have 4-bedroom homes to keep clean, none of that stuff. If something breaks, somebody else takes care of it. Okay. And that goes right down to somebody needing to replace a light bulb in the ceiling. We don't do that either. Okay. And that's our lifestyle. That allows us to come and go as we want, when we want. And believe me, we do. And that's the end of our program today on audience follow-up. And we hope that we imparted some good points for you to consider the next time that you engage somebody on the street, in the store, or you just see a very cool comment on a social media post. I thank you for listening in, and for those of you who are picking up the recording, thank you for doing so. Any final comments, Linda?
I'd say that wrapped up quite well.